Good evening. This is a public meeting of the Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals for October 24th, 2016. Before we get started, if everyone could check your electronic device, make sure it's turned off. And second of all, if anyone plans on speaking on behalf of a petition before addressing the board, if you could sign in at the podium with your name and address. Our first order of business is under new business. This is ZB 2016-49. The petition's a special permit. The applicant is Henry Shayok of 771 Broadway Street, and the petition. The proposal is to convert the existing non-conforming use to a barber shop, another non-conforming use. The proposed project is located in the traditional multifamily zoning district and requires special permit approval under section 4.522 of the Lowell zoning ordinance. Is the petitioner here? Yes, sir. Please, come up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The store was a barber shop before for many years, and last year they kind of shut it down because they find out that the zoning wasn't allowed that. Mm-hmm. So the barber shop is closing, and I take over the building. So actually the tenant coming back to us, they wanna continue the barber shop. So we kind of consider that's why we filed for the special permit to get the permit, do the right thing, and let them continue operate the barber shop.
Okay. Do you own the whole building, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So you purchased it, you said, what, March 2016? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So the existing barber shop that is there, that was in business at one point, is that where the new barber shop is also going?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The same location, same store. Yeah.
So nothing next door where there's like an used appliance company, correct?
Well, the next door, yeah, is appliance store. Yeah.
That has nothing to do with bringing back the barber shop?
No.
Okay. Are you going to be working there, or you have a new tenant that wants to come in?
The tenant, the
Okay.
new tenant. We're gonna sign the list. Yeah.
Okay. So he'll come in and sign a lease with you?
We haven't done that because they want to make sure that they can continue to do that.
But that would be the plan. He would sign a lease with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if that gentleman's been in business before?
We talk about that, but I don't remember the name. I think the name is Jose by first name. Yeah.
How many seats are in there?
I don't actually remember. Right now, all the seat been removed. Just have the setting there.
Yep.
When I take over on March, those is gone. I only recall like when I see the building like back in last year, probably 6 seats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was in business. Was it run by the same individual for multiple years, or was there a change of ownership all those years?
As I understand, they did change
Yeah.
some ownership over the course of the year.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think
Okay.
that's, yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. Anyone here like to speak in favor of this petition? In favor? In favor? Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. Anyone here like to speak in opposition? 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 Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. I'd like to open it up to the board. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a question for Judy. How did this come do you know how this came to DPD's attention, that there was a non-conforming issue with regards to the business on this particular piece of property?
I don't know for certain. I know that there has been an effort to look at different types of businesses and check to see if there are special permits for those businesses. And I know that a few months ago that there was a focus on barber shops. So the Department of Development Services just went through the list of existing barber shops according to our records and just checked to make sure that they had, licenses, special permits, that they were allowed in certain zones. So that's been a kind of an ongoing effort for about 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah. No, I mean, so I do recall that issue coming up in the past as well. But again, so I just want to make sure I make it clear, Mr. Choke, if you, Chuck, sorry. If you just, I got a quick question.
Okay, sure.
I just want to make sure we're absolutely clear. So this, you're saying this is the prior tenant is not going in, you have a new tenant who's going to be taking over the barber shop, or is this?
Actually, it's the same. He do the barber shop there before, so he come back. Then he wanna talk to me. Say he wanna continue doing the barber shop. So what it is that store was barber shop before, but I think there's checking all the zoning with the permit and thing, then find out they actually do not have some special permit for that, so they shut it down. But they would like to reopen it, so we kind of say, okay, we will try to get the special permit to help them going through. So once we get that, then they will come in and we can sign on this and continue operate the barber shop.
Understandable. That's why I think there was some confusion. I thought, what you were saying was you had a prior tenant, they got shut down, now you have a new tenant, but actually the tenant you're looking to get the approval for is the same tenant that was previously.
Yeah. It could be same tenant, but because we haven't signed a list, but there are also other potential tenant, they ask for the same thing. That's why yeah.
Do you know what any other reason why they were, you said shut down, why they were shut down other than but for the fact that there was no permit for a barber shop in this particular building? Was there any other reason why they may have been shut down by?
That probably the reason that I know. They told me that is the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judy, do you have any, was this one of the particular ones that DPD was reviewing at that time?
Yeah, there were quite a few that fell into this category where they had been operating without the special permit, just not with either us not understanding it or them not understanding that it was a non-conforming use, and there might have been a use in there that prior that had been conforming. And sometimes a business will change hands and it slips through the cracks and no one says, well, this is going from an authorized use to a non-conforming use, and we just have to make sure they get that special permit. Or it might have been a non-conforming use before and it's going from non-conforming to non-conforming, but oftentimes they would just keep operating without getting that special permit.
Okay. Well, if this is a situation where it's just simply the non-conforming use to non-conforming use, but I know I recall that there were issues with regards to building code violations and that were included with that too. Would that be something that the building commissioner would have to handle?
Yes, when this happened, the building department had a list of the barbershop, and one of the first thing that they did was go in to see if there were any violations, any building code violations, any fees that were owed, property taxes, anything. So all of that gets cleared up before the applicant is then sent to us to say, well, these people need a special permit, everything else has been cleared up, now they can go forward with the special permit. So all the other issues, everything gets resolved before they get to this point.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
So I just want to make that also. So we closed the building around March, so we kind of clear all those violations and go through the attorney and everything. So I believe there's no other violation
Okay.
if that's the case.
No, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. That's why I want to make clear. I just want to
Okay.
kind of figure that out because.
Thank you.
I don't want, no, but, all right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. No further questions. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to see that, you know, the owner of the building's here and trying to get all the proper documents and permits and, you know, him kind of rehabbing and making sure all the stuff that was out of code is up to code pretty much. So, you know, I think, you know, this is something I can vote in favor of. So, best of luck, sir.
Thank you, Van. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a question for you too, Judy. There's a parking lot about a block away from this location next to the variety store, and I'm wondering, I know one of the issues with this application is the parking for the business, but I forget what the rule is on if the lot is a certain distance away, it can be counted towards the parking?
In certain zones, you can have off-site parking, not in every zone. And I'd have to check to see if this is one that allows for that. But it's not every zone allows off-site parking. I mean, it's different in the downtown area where garages count. But this,
Well, it's, I
was
don't,
in TMF.
it was more of a curiosity. I mean, I don't have an issue with the parking for this barber shop. I'm going to assume that a lot of the customers will, a lot of foot traffic
Yep.
to the business, and it's a densely populated area, but I was just curious about that.
Yes, it's
That lot.
not in every zone, the off-site parking.
All right, thank you. And I don't have any questions for you. I'm in favor of you know, granting the special permit, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Gary?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I have a question for the petitioner. How you doing tonight? Just if you could reaffirm, you made comment that the current leasee, or the current person coming to rent off you, was the original who was closed down? Same? Is it the same barber shop owner, barber shop operator that's coming back?
So he's one of them, but he probably not the last one.
Okay.
He was owning that place before, yeah. So I think they changed hands before, but yeah, he's the one coming back and asked for it.
Is he the owner of this barber shop business, or does he have a partner?
No, he's the owner.
He's the owner?
Yeah, he's one of the owner before, yeah.
So through you, Judy, the parking doesn't change, it's just the square footage? Is that, it should still require just a one parking spot as it relates to the parking?
Yeah, because it's a non-conforming use and it's changing from a prior non-conforming use, then they are not required to have more parking than what was there before. So they did not have parking before, so they're not required to have parking.
Okay. And just as a matter of inspectional services, upon approval for the zoning for non-conforming, the barber shop will go through the litany of department licensures.
Oh, yes,
Health, state.
yes.
It'll all reaffirm itself
Yes.
as a new business?
Yeah, they can't get approvals until they, I mean, they can't get occupancy. At this point, if they've done all the building that's required by the building permit and fixed all the violations, you can't get an occupancy till you have all the proper licenses.
That would include the state licensing as well?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, we do already tell them, like, yeah, once we get this done, they will go get the proper license to operate as a barber shop, yeah.
Very well, thank you, appreciate that. No more further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Jim? Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
So, Judy, as far as if there was, we don't need to condition anything around licensing approvals because that'll run its through the regular process,
Yes,
right?
that goes through the regular process, yep.
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess based on the comments from the board, I would agree with their assessment of the of granting the special permit. I think if you look at that, there was a prior business there before. We're not here to determine what happened before, but I know anytime I drove by there, it always seems like there was a lot of customers in there, so it's probably too bad that they had to shut down. But I think the area is conducive to another small business. There's a few small businesses on Broadway, and I think with the college there and just with the neighborhood, there's probably the opportunity to make a worthwhile investment. And as you as the landlord, having a tenant that's going to hopefully follow the rules that the city has enumerated. So based on the discussion with the board and with the conditions, excuse me, the criteria around the special permit, I think with the community need, and there's obviously an economic benefit to a small business. And we talked about the parking. We understand how the parking is being addressed. And the neighborhood character, as I stated, I believe it is a business that does belong in that neighborhood, and I would fully support it. Any other members have any other comments? If not, could I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2016-49, special permit for the applicant Henry Choke for the property located at 771 Broadway Street, special permit under section 4.5.2 of the Lowell zoning ordinance.
Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
Roll call?
Chairman Bailey?
Approved.
Member Perrin?
Approved.
Member Paglia?
Approved.
Member Peck?
Approve.
And Member Callahan?
Approved.
Okay, sir, you've been approved. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, our next matter before us is under other business, and this is a administrative review. And the property is located at 1141 Bridge Street, and it's CB 2012-28. And since this is a administrative review, this will not be open to the public, be addressed by the board. The petition's a special permit. The applicant is Graphics Unlimited LLC. The property is located at 1141 Bridge Street. The petition, administrative review of previously granted relief to install new signage for Family Dental, a new tenant for a 5-unit commercial building. Is the petitioner here? Yes, sir. How are you? So could you tell us what you're doing with the signage, sir?
Sure. So there are 3 signage on the building. One is the pylon sign.
Yep.
That's a non-issue. The second, there are 2 other signs. There's one sign facing the Bridge Street,
Yep.
and then there's a second sign facing the parking lot. The way the building is made, the building doesn't face the Bridge Street. So really, what we are requesting here is the signage that faces the Bridge Street. The currently approved is 28 square feet signage. We are proposing a 21 square foot signage. So I think that should be a non-issue since it's under the approved.
Okay.
The thing for which we did want to come here and request is there are 5 units, and the current approved is 12 square footage per unit. So that makes it 60 for the entire building. We are leasing 2 of the 5. We are leasing 2 of the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So the current approved is 12 per square foot per unit. So that makes us 24, putting the 2 together. Our request is that instead of putting 2 signs for 12 each, can we put 1 for 21 feet? It doesn't make sense since we are leasing 2 units. It doesn't make sense to put 2 small signs for 12 feet each. I think what will make more sense is to put one big sign across the 2 units, which is 21 feet. So that's really what our request is here.
Okay. Judy, I'll just defer to you for a minute as far as this gentleman wanting to go with the one sign instead of it broken up. Do you have anything in front of you that shows that, or do you had a discussion with them about their proposal?
Yes, I do have the architect, well, their photographs actually that show exactly where they're going to be putting the sign. And I know that there is that spot, the architectural band there for the placement of the sign. So it does make sense to have the one sign located in that spot.
Yep. And the first sign you talked about, the one that's facing Bridge Street, is that the Berry Rich?
That's right.
Yep. So you want to reduce the size of that? Is that what you said on that one?
That's right. So
Okay. So there's actually 2 changes that you're proposing, the Berry Rich and the other split signs that you want to have them as just one sign, correct?
that's right. And Chairman, I didn't realize that the current approved is 28. If that's what's currently approved, we can go with 28 on the Bridge Street side. So in that case, the only change we are requesting is changing 12 and 12, 24, going down to one signage of 21.
Okay, so the Bridge Street one, you want to forget about?
Yeah, well, why go with a small sign? I'll just increase the size and go 28. My apologies, I didn't realize until now that
Sure, that's okay.
the approved is actually larger than what we are proposing.
All right, I just want to make sure we're clear on what the changes you want to propose. Anything else you want to add at this time, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay, may have a board member or 2 may want to ask you a question, so you might want to
Sure.
remain there.
Absolutely.
We're going to open it up to the public. Anyone here that'd like to speak? Excuse me, this isn't open to the public, sorry. Routine. Okay. Sean, do you have any comments?
Couple questions for the petitioner, not a petitioner anymore, but just curious if you understand, well, the hours of illumination, do you know when the plan for the signage is going to be, the hours are going to be illuminated? I believe that based on the memo from DPD, the decision limits the hours to 11 p.m. Is that something that's going to be an issue, or is that still?
I'm sorry, what are the approved hours for the town?
Based on you received the memorandum from DPD. The last, number 8, this talks about the hours of illumination of the proposed signage, and it says that the previous decision limited the hours to 11 p.m. Is that going to be an issue with regards to the business, or is that?
So at 11 p.m. we have to shut down the sign?
Yes.
Is that the norm in the city?
Well, I mean, usually depends on when the closing, the business closes, and then we usually go about an hour, half an hour after the business closes. It's a dentist office. I mean, I don't know, I'm guessing, unless they're open 24 hours a day, I mean, they're probably.
Yeah. No, I wish we'll get there one day, opening 24 hours,
But to your knowledge, 11 p.m. at this point would that be a reasonable hour for illumination to
Sure.
stop? Okay, all right, I just want to make sure we're clear. Other than that, I don't see any issues, especially in light of the fact that the signage of Bridge Street, well, you were seeking a signage that was smaller, but I mean, we approved previously up to 28 feet, and that seems to be pretty reasonable based on what you propose. So I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Van?
I have no comments, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm in favor of your idea of combining the two 12-square-foot signs into one larger sign where you're taking up 2 units. And I think the hours of illumination were set so late because we were approving a yogurt shop, so we weren't expecting something that might close at 8, let's say a dentist. So that's why even you have a lot of leeway with the 11 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Being able to leave it on. I think if we were approving it anew, we'd probably be suggesting that the lights be turned off even earlier, but
I appreciate it.
unless, again, DPD recommended that we just keep the same hours, so
Okay, no, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mike. Gary?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I think a reduction in one sign and increase in the other, I think it's a great marketing scheme. I wish you the best of luck there.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Gary.
I just wished you the best of luck, too. It sounded very reasonable to me.
Great, thank you, no, I appreciate it.
Okay, well, so you're here for an administrative review of the one future sign that you want to make the change to, and I believe each of the board members have expressed their approval of the change. Judy, does the petitioner need to submit anything else? Okay.
No.
So I would say, based on your presentation this evening and the change that's proposed, the board will be accepting the administrative change. Judy, are we taking a vote by each of the members for this?
So, yes, so your vote would be, you're approving it as an administrative change.
Correct. Yep.
And then you would vote for the change itself.
Okay. So Judy, just for clarity here, since Mike's going to make the proposal here, you mentioned, there's the administrative review, whether we're accepting or not accepting, and then you also mentioned the change, correct?
Right.
So it all can be included under one vote, is what I'm asking?
Yes,
not
yeah,
two
you
separate
could
ones.
do
I
it
mean,
as one vote, and it
Yep.
would encompass those two.
Yep, okay.
Yes, it would be an administrative change and to amend the special permit, so that would include it both as one.
Yep, okay.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2012-028, administrative review for 1141 Bridge Street, accepting the administrative review for a special permit for Graphics Unlimited LLC at 1141 Bridge Street, reviewing a previously granted relief for new signage.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Chairman Bailey?
Approved.
Member Perrin?
Approved.
Member Paglia?
Approved.
Member Peck?
Approve.
And Member Callahan?
Approved.
Okay, sir, been
Thank
approved.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Have a good evening. Sorry. All right, our next business under other business is an administrative review of 173 Westford Street. It's ZB 2014-004, petitions of variance. The applicant is Mohamedou Jatai. Property is located at 173 Westford Street. And the petition, the applicant is seeking an extension for a previously granted variance to construct a new single-family dwelling without meeting dimensional requirements pursuant to Section 6.3 and Article 12, Table of Uses of the zoning ordinance. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Very good. So what can you tell us about, I can remember when you came in here a couple of years ago about your plan. Can you tell me what's happened today, please?
I'm not too sure what's going on over there. We had a plan, ready to build a house over there,
Yep.
but we were shut down by the city because I guess it was violating something. I'm not too sure. My mom has more information about it.
Sure. She wants
If she
to.
could come up and explain.
Sure.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
Can you
Yes,
just introduce yourself, please?
My name is Fatmata, last name is Chaite.
Okay.
I'm the mother of Mohammed Jaite.
Yep.
Yes, I do most of the paperwork with him. I will come to the city here. After they granted the permit, and I called the people that will do the sewage the day that we went there, and the guy says to me, you have to go check with the city. They're gonna be doing the road because there was truck, and you can't do any of the sewage from the street. And I came immediately to the engineer office upstairs. So I asked them, I says, will they grant us the permit? We want to build a house or we want to start it. They says, no, we cannot, because if they do the road, they can't wait that 2 days. They have to do the road. I said they didn't send us any notice. If they should have sent us notice, we will know, and requested. And I came to the permit office, tell them, no, I did a few complaints about they didn't give us notice. We're ready to build. So Lisa at the engineer office, we have few discussions for us to do like an easement. I tried with all the neighbors and find their address, went to their place. No one was willing to give us an easement. Finally, I came to the Judy's office and explained. I says, I don't know what we're gonna do because I'm not used to this, or my son, what we have to do. So I said, if there gonna be extension, because we wanna build a place, they says till 5 years, they will not let us build it.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah, and I think, at least most of us know, that Westford Street was totally repaved, all new sidewalks put in.
Yes.
I know, in fact, in front of your lot, they have a curb cut there.
Yes, for the garage.
So I was, and I drive by there enough times. Every time I drive by, I'd say, geez, I didn't see anything. Nothing's changed. Nothing's been cleared out. And I know when you came before us, the gentleman that came with you with the building plans, you had a set of plans done up, so I wasn't really sure, what had happened. So when it came up on the, before us, I made a call to Judy, just to ask a few questions. And so Judy, do you have anything else to add on the sewerage caper?
So because of the repaving, I do have a note from Lisa. So the engineering office, I guess there were discussions with Lisa, and the question about the easement was if the property owner could get easements from abutters to go through property and to get utilities from a side street, that would allow them to do the building without having to open up Westford Street. But they were not able to do that. So there is a 5-year moratorium on street opening once a street is paved. And so it will not be open until 2019. So what's required is an actual 3-year extension, and the board has latitude to do that, to grant an extension. The decision was, I believe, definitely filed in 2014, and the applicant, it would be 2 years from the date of recording
Yes.
of the decision. And so the applicant would know what that date is. I don't know exactly what date that was.
I did call, but I forgot what day we recorded it. It's almost 3 years.
I think I see it, Judy. It looks like it's June 19th, 2014, based on the information I have.
Yeah, so that's when it was actually filed. But the applicant indicated to me that it was actually recorded subsequent to that June date. So again, it would have to be an extension of 3 years.
So what happens if she doesn't get the easements?
Well, then the special permit would expire. Well, if she doesn't get the easements, then she has to wait for the street opening on Westford Street. She would have to wait the 3 years.
Yeah, because, that wasn't before us at the time of the vote. We knew nothing about easements, we knew nothing about.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that-
just saying,
yeah.
it's not, it sounds like something that transpired after we had made the
Right,
vote.
yes,
And
yes,
the
yes.
the petitioner has no control over what transpired, I guess is what I'm saying, so.
Well, I don't know, because I was involved with the project from the very beginning. I don't know if there was a miscommunication on the part of one of the other utility departments outside of engineering, if it was the water or sewer department. Engineering certainly does know when streets are being repaved. They're the ones who keep that schedule. And as to whether, the communication, again, with those different departments between water and sewer and the engineering, I don't know how that's done, but, so it's really engineering that makes that decision. They hold the schedule, they know when the repaving is going to
Okay.
be and when the moratorium is up.
Okay. I'm going to open it up to the board, just see if any of the other members have any questions for you.
Okay, thank you.
Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't on the board at the time this decision was rendered, so I'm not sure what I can add or whatever, but it's, I can understand, based on what I'm hearing, is that because of the moratorium, we're now at a little, I guess, catch-22 situation here, and I can see some of the hardship that's involved with that, but I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Good,
Thank you.
Van?
I was on the board when this was approved, and I do remember that the set of plans that you brought, and it's going to be a nice single family in the Highlands, the Low Islands, and it looked like a good plan. For me, I'm not opposed to the extension. This is kind of an unfair burden to you.
Yeah.
Not being able to do the sewer work and all that stuff. So I think for me, I have no objections to the extension. If I was to vote in favor of the extension, when would you plan on actual finishing the home, and would it be within 2020 or something, within a year of granting the extension?
Oh, we already, just they didn't give us notice. If they agreed for us to open the sewage to Westford Street, we can do something now, we build to build. But it says, no, I have to wait the 5 years period. So now it's 3 years, I have to find another 3 years. Another 3. So in 2019, I don't want to, I don't know how frustrated it was. The neighbors, I will go to this, go to that. Everybody said no, so there's no way I have to wait till
Sure.
the engineer office said 2019.
Yeah.
So
No,
now,
I mean, I totally get kind of the hardship, so, I'm in favor of extending the, voting in favor of the extension. So those are just my thoughts. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Van. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I'm also in favor of granting the extension. I mean, unfortunately, there isn't anything we can do about the trench openings, the 5-year moratorium after a new paving job is done. So it sounds like it was just bad timing.
Yes.
Getting the permit from us and then trying to go forward. But obviously, the city spent a good amount of money to totally redo Westford Street and Couple
yes.
Square. So unfortunately, we'll just have to wait. But I am in favor of whatever the maximum is, if we set it for 3 years, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
That will be good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Gary?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I agree with my colleagues. The moratorium on the paving of the streets, it's a big fiscal capital improvement that the city goes throughout. I'm in agreement with the extension. I hope time moves quickly for you. It's a difficult process. We have to adhere to the rules of the city. Unfortunately, your time is there. I do feel that it is placing you in a hardship. You're going to have this property for 5 years and
Yes.
upkeep and taxes and that. And,
Yes.
to your credit, you've been more than helpful, I think, trying to follow through the process and being patient. and I do appreciate that. I'm sure it's a very difficult task to
Yes.
stay in, within yourself, have to go through this, but time will move swiftly for you on a positive
Yes.
note, and look forward to seeing you back here with your future plans. Best of
Thank
luck.
you, thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Jim, any comments? It's a vacant lot, Jim. Yeah. That's why you didn't see it. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm also in favor with my fellow members as far as the 3-year extension. Obviously, I think this is the first I've heard since I've been on this board. We've encountered this. So I guess I would only express if you can work with your neighbors somehow, some way, if you can get the easements, that's at least one alternative you have. But I'm not, I'm in favor of the 3-year extensions, which would take us from today. Is that correct, Judy?
Yes,
how
it
it
would be
works?
from
Okay,
today.
thank you.
Yep, so that'll be October 24th of 2019.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Okay, so could I have a vote for the 3-year extension, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2014-004, an administrative review for 173 Westford Street, which is to extend the variance for 3 years to October 24th, 2019 for Mohamedou Jaita at 173 Westford Street.
Okay, could I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Jim Bailey,
Approve.
Member Perrin,
Approve the extension.
Member Paglia,
Approve the extension.
Member Peck,
Approve.
and Member Callahan.
Approved.
Okay, wish you the
Thank
best
you.
of luck.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay, our next order of business is still under other business, administrative review of 557 Varnum Avenue, ZB 2015-43, petitions a special permit. The applicant is GPG Varnum LLC, property is located at 557 Varnum Ave. And the petition, the applicant is requesting an administrative change to the existing decision to allow for an increase in the number of units from 13 to 18 with 25 parking spaces. The proposal consists of the conversion of an existing building formerly used as a nursing home to 18 residential units. The proposed project is located in the suburban single-family zoning district and requires special permit approval from the Zoning Board of Appeals under Article 4.52, non-conforming uses of the Lowell zoning ordinance. Mr. Geary, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For the record, my name is Attorney Stephen Geary, and I represent GPG Varnum LLC in its request tonight for administrative review to amend a previously granted special permit. I believe it was granted on November 23rd of last year, so we're going on about a year since that approval. As you noted, Mr. Chairman, the request to amend includes reducing the number of parking spaces from 27 to 25, increase the number of units from 13 to 18, and just to note that the Woodbine Ave parking and anything located within Woodbine Ave has now been removed from the plan. Mr. Chairman and members, I believe it's important to highlight a couple of things. First of all, in support of this request, there's a couple of things that the board should know. There are pre-leased units in this building to a program partner that deals with setting up disabled residents of Lowell with normal housing arrangements, and that's what the plan is here. So the plan is to have 4 of those units designated to folks who have acquired brain injuries who don't drive cars and don't use parking spots. So that would reduce any kind of parking pressure on this project. Most important is if, I believe that you all realize now that 6.1.3.2 allows the petitioner to petition for up to 18 units without being subject to any parking requirements, because the previous owner, the previous use had 36 parking spaces. So he's exempt up to those, that amount of parking spaces, which is the basis for the 18 units. There's an increase in 5 units from the previous plan and a decrease of 1 unit, one parking spot from the other plan. So basically what the parking does, if you look at the plan that we submitted, it takes away those 10 spots that were on the easterly side to Varnum Ave, and he added 8 spots to the easterly side that require no dimensional relief at all. So he has that parking provided up to 25 units, and nothing else really has changed here at all, except the increase in those units and the decrease in that one, in the 2 parking spots. So we respectfully ask this board to consider approving this administratively, and we're happy to answer any questions. I'm sure there's a lot of more detail to that, but I wanted to present it as that and then be available to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go right to the board members and see if there's any questions. Sean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was kind of curious about and I saw the plan that was previously just submitted earlier today with regards to the memorandum of understanding with a potential, well, I'm presuming this is the disability portion of it
Yes.
that you were referring to, and I was kind of curious as to what that was all about, and thank you for explaining that to me, because that kind of makes a little more sense now based on the fact of what you're seeking with regards to, I know we previously approved 13 units and 26 parking spaces, 27 parking spaces.
27 now reduced down to 25.
With the 4, I understand now with the 4 units that are being designated to potentially,
Right, and that
folks.
doesn't mean that nobody related to those 4 tenants will be driving. We do expect that there will be a few cars to that and a transit van associated with that. So, and that's, the other important thing to note, Mr. Callahan, on that is if you saw the memorandum of understanding, the proposal is for at least a 10-year lease. So this is a long-term residential solution to people who have acquired brain injuries, who are disabled, who desire to live in the mainstream in a very desirous area of the city of Lowell. So, it creates jobs for the caretakers who will be with them, and it creates a great place for somebody to live. So it's really a positive development to this.
Right. No, thank you, Attorney Geary. I appreciate that, and I want to thank Mr. Coates as well for working with DPD on this thing. I understand. The last when it was previously before the board, we were here for quite some time, going over in detail about some of these about this. But I still maintain that I think this is a great project. That this thing's been, since it's been in nursing home, is sitting there for years. Something needs to be done with it, and I think I'm glad that putting everything together now and trying to let's bring this thing to some sort of light. I think it's going to be a great project, and I think that Mr. Coates is going to do a very fabulous job in it, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Van?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I agree with my colleague, Mr. Callahan. This piece of property now is kind of an eyesore, so, what Mr. Coates is doing with, I think, is going to be an improvement to that neighborhood and just to that kind of lot. So it makes sense, the reduction in parking because of the 4 units not really needing parking for the disabled tenants. So I think, for me, this is something, the administrative review that, I'll be favorable on, so, thank you.
Thank you, Van. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I remember that night well. Actually, it ended in the morning. I think it was 12:30, and I know a number of the residents were here that night, too. An entire Patriots game went by. I remember you were checking the scores, Attorney Gary, between comments. But My question was answered. Again, it was seeing, you know, a large increase in the number of units, but not fully understanding until tonight that 4 of the units would have parking assigned, but probably not be used by the residents, so.
Right.
that's all
And again, you know, I think we discussed this at the original petition, but there's plenty of parking in that area anyway, and we're assuming that everybody's gonna have 2 parking spots per unit, but really, there's 13 one-bedrooms, so we don't anticipate that at all, and really, they don't think that, he doesn't anticipate parking is gonna be an issue at all. He anticipates there'll be extra parking there. And there's off-street parking if there's ever a need for that, but we don't even anticipate that will be needed. So, you know, the parking issue is really, has been dealt with. He was able to add those spots to the westerly side.
So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Gary?
Through Mr. Chairman, I'm in favor of this amendment. I think as we look back through that long night, not even sure if it was a night into the morning. However, it gave an opportunity for all to be heard, which is very important in the civic process. It gave the residents an affirmative position to speak their mind and make their notes and their claims, and I think that's always a great process. And also, it's very important to note that you have worked diligently and as you came to mind, to reduce the number of parking spots and then look at the type of tenants you're looking to houses. It's also it's a credit to how you looked at your project overall and professional ability to make a project fit well in the neighborhood and within the city. So I wish you the best of luck. I appreciate the very detailed package provided tonight and the narrative, the explanation. And I thank the residents for coming out again tonight, as you always do. I think that's important. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Gary. Jim, any comments?
I just found this one totally confusing because this is my first time I've dealt with it. And I asked Judy for quite a bit of help with it, so I would understand it a little bit better. And it seems to work. It seems like you're on the right track, so I don't have any comments other than that. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you. Well, as far as my opinion on this, a couple of things stand out. You know, the majority of the units are one bedroom. I think that's a key. And I also, when I took a look back, what we had done last year, and there was this page, I forget what page it was, but it's marked as A2, which broke out the one and two bedroom units. I know there was a lot of discussion about the number of bedrooms that were going to be each. You know, we were talking 3, we were talking 4, we were kind of like all over the place. But, you know, when I went back to what we did last year, and then this evening you also presented with the update as far as the MOU that was in process, and the emphasis on the one bedroom, which I think is conducive with what you've done with the parking plan. You know, you've been able to add, as you mentioned, the 8 spots, and I know the city, both the city engineer and the traffic engineer also did their review. They came back with no comments on what was provided as far as the parking layout and also the berm cut that you're also doing there. The only thing, and I discussed this with Judy today, and it's not a negative, but, and I don't even know if I asked it last year, but in the rear, you show the one ADA spot that's in the rear of the facility. Currently, there's 2 ADA spots there, and in discussing it with Judy today, I was just curious. I didn't even know if it came up last year. Is there a reason why we only have 1 as opposed to 2, since there are 2 currently there? And Judy mentioned to me it looked like something was marked as far as a platform, or what's going on that platform? Do you, if you know the answer to my question?
Yeah, I'll have my client address that directly.
Yep. Ms. Coates? Yeah.
Yes, we currently lose one of the ADA
Yep.
or handicap spaces because that's the new entrance for the building once the project is
For
complete.
that rear, okay.
Yes, yeah. And then for the 4 apartments where there are going to be 4 disabled residents, they'll actually have spaces assigned for their paratransit vans.
Okay, good, good, thank you very much. No, I just saw it as an addition as opposed to, I just wanted to ask the question what the plan was, but you've been able to answer that for me. So again, if I go back to, and we received as far as the section 6.132, how that was all laid out, I know that was another area that doesn't come across this board very often, but in this case, it was very important to understand what it meant and what the impact was. So I believe, based on the changes that the petition has come in with this evening, especially around the parking, I believe the changes that we're being asked to take a look at, I would be in favor of. I also think now can we, Judy, as far as the MOU goes, do we, Mr. Geary, can we use this as part of the record for the administrative change, or?
Yes, just for privacy reasons, right now, we had to
Right.
redact the names, but sure,
And I understand
Yeah.
that. Yep. But I just think it's very important in addition to when we're talking about parking. And I think one of the members also mentioned this is a good, not even a gesture, but I think it's a good part of this project of what you're trying to do over there. So, kudos to you for that. And I think that's it. So just give me 1 second. Okay. Could I have a motion, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2015-43, the administrative review of a special permit for the applicant GPG Varnum LLC at 557 Varnum Avenue to amend the existing decision to allow for an increase in the number of units from 13 to 18 with 25 parking spaces.
You all set with that, Judy?
Yep.
Okay. Could I have a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call?
Chairman Bailey?
Approved.
Member Perrin?
Approved.
Member Paglia?
Approved.
Member Peck?
Approve.
And Member Callahan?
Approved.
Okay, Ms. Geary, been approved.
Hey, Mr.
Wish
Coates
you
wanted
and
to tell you,
Mr. Coates.
he's extremely excited to get starting on this project, and, when he transforms this, I think you'll all be very, very impressed at the final project.
Yep, I think we're all anxious to see the finished product, so I wish you the best of luck.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, our next order of business is the minutes. We have minutes for December 14th, 2015, March 28th, 2016, and July 25th of 2016. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, could I have a motion to accept the minutes, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve or accept the minutes from the December 14, 2015 meeting, the March 28, 2016 meeting, and the July 25th, 2016 meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion? Roll call?
Chairman Bailey?
Approved.
Member Perrin?
Approved.
Member Paglia?
Approved.
Member Peck?
Approve.
And Member Callahan?
Approved.
Okay, so we also received the 2017 meeting calendar. So who gets kudos for that, Judy? You or Christine?
Well, actually, we assigned that to Joe to do before he left.
Wow.
Well played.
Okay, so our next order of business is the annual election of the officers. So as we've, I guess the only thing I'll point out, so Jim, no deference to you, but Jim can't be appointed to or elected to one of the officer positions, but he can participate. So what we'll do is we'll go through the list of officers, chairman, vice chairman, and the secretary, and what we'll do is we'll start with the chairman first. Anyone like to nominate one of the board members for chairman?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate William Bailey as chairman of the Lowell Board of Appeals.
Any other nominations? If not, hearing none, Judy, could we take a vote, please?
Chairman Bailey?
Mr. Bailey?
Mr. Bailey. Mr. Bailey, yes.
Yes. I elect myself. We all set? Or do you want to take each of the members?
Well, was the nomination seconded? Seconded. Second the
I'm sorry?
nomination. Second the nomination.
Oh, second, yes. Who's second?
Second the
Second
nomination.
by Sean Callahan?
We all set? Okay, so
Yes, we
for,
have first and a second.
what's that?
I said we have a first and a second.
Okay, so we're all set for that?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so we'll now do the vice chairman. Do we have any nominations for vice chairman?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would vote or nominate Mr. Perrin to return as vice chairman.
Okay. And I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Bailey?
Yep. Okay, congratulations, Gary.
Thank you, sir.
And for the next officer's position, we'll do the secretary. Do we have any nominations for the secretary's position?
Through you, Mr. Chairman. I defer, Mr. Paglia, or you? No, go ahead. Through you, Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Mr. Michael Paglia for the clerk, Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals, please.
Okay. Do we have any other members?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Mr. Peck for clerk secretary.
Okay. So seeing as any other members? Okay, Judy, so seeing that we have one of each of the members, should we do a roll call for each of the members?
A roll call, yes. So Chairman Bailey.
I'll go with Mr. Peck, please.
And Member Perrin.
I would go with Mr. Paglia.
And Member Paglia.
Mr. Peck.
And Member Peck.
Mr. Peck.
And Member Callahan.
Member Peck.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, in deference to, in respect to Mr. Peck in the process, I would like to fully nominate with support.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. So, Mr. Peck, congratulations. All right, Judy. Next meeting is scheduled. Oh, I'm sorry. We have one other item. Mr. Perrin would like to just make an announcement, please.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for one quick moment of personal and professional preference. Previously this year, we had a petition in front of us related to a piece of property on Rogers Street in Lowell, where National Tire and Battery have entered into an evergreen lease with the property owners of the USA gas station. I'd like to make notice that USA Gas Station has been property owned for over 100 years by the Papliokis family. Mr. Steve Papliokis was a teacher in the city of Lowell for 32 years at the Washington School. his children, John and Olga, have been operating that business with their dad, who started that business on that side of the property in 1961. Since that time, it has flourished from a chicken farm to a gardening center and to various businesses up and including the USA gas station. They have been stellar business partners for the city of Lowell and will continue to do so in operation of this Evergreen Leasing Company. I wanted to recognize them, their father, the entire family, and the rich history that that property and that family has brought to the city of Lowell. This coming Wednesday will be the last day of operation for USA Gas, which leaves me in a personal and professional dilemma because that is my gas station. I've come to know both John and Olga over the years. They're tremendous people. They've done a lot for the community, a lot for the local sports and athletes and charitable events in the city of Lowell, and I just wanted to recognize them. I wish them all the best and luck. Unfortunately, Mr. Papliokis is no longer with the family, but took great pride in the city of Lowell. I thank him for his service as a school teacher in the city of Lowell to the thousands of children to which he mentored, as well as mentoring both his children to become outstanding business partners for the city of Lowell. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And next meeting, Judy, is scheduled for November.
So that would be November 14th? 14th,
Did Judy pass the test? Yep.
yes.
November 14th.
Yep.
So we have, is it just one item at this point that's on the agenda?
Yes, right now we just have one item.
Okay, okay. All right, any other comments from any other members? Hearing none, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So moved, thank you.